Here to talk about that is Democratic Congressman Krishnamoorthi. He's a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Welcome, Congressman. Such a pleasure to have you. You were in the Capitol during those terrifying hours of the insurrection. How are you and other members bracing yourselves to learn more specifically about what Trump was doing or not doing on January 6th?
I think there's going to be intense interest in those 3 hours, more than 3 hours of inaction by President Trump. We know that the Capitol Police, as well as the District of Columbia Metropolitan Police Department, in an urgent request, demanded and begged for National Guardsmen to be sent to the Capitol once they were overrun, especially the Capitol Police. And yet, hour after hour, it lapsed and no troops were sent to the scene. And we were asking the exact same questions. I think Democrats and Republicans holed up in their offices or in bunkers waiting for those troops to arrive. And so now we have learned that, Pat Cipollone, Kayleigh McEnany, Mark Meadows, Mike Pence's national security advisor, Keith Kellogg, and even Ivanka Trump were demanding that the president quell the insurrection, send troops, and yet he refused to do so. And again, that points to that kind of corrupt intent that's, I think, at the heart of whether crimes were committed by the president that day.
So, Congressman, I want to get your reaction to some comments from committee member Zoe Lofgren about the panel's efforts to obtain those race Secret Service texts. Let's take a listen.
You can imagine how shocked we were to get the letter from the Inspector General saying that he had been trying to get this information and that they had, in fact, been deleted after he'd asked for them. Then there was a statement made by the spokesperson for the department saying that, it wasn't true, wasn't fair, and that they, in fact, had pertinent texts. So we thought, fine, if you have them, we need them. And we expect to get them by this Tuesday. We need all the texts from the 5th and the 6th of January. I was shocked to hear that they didn't back up their data before they reset their iPhones. That's crazy. I don't know why that would be. But we need to get this information to get the full picture.
The Congresswoman said they expect to get those pertinent texts from the Secret Service by Tuesday. So what should committee members be looking for in those texts?
Well, after Cassie Hutchinson's testimony the other day, in which he said that, essentially the president physically lunged at the Secret Service and wanted the Secret Service to take him to the Capitol, it'll be very interesting to see what those text messages might reveal about that interaction, as well as just generally the day's events and what Secret Service was doing with regard to helping to either enable the president to continue his inaction or maybe even urging him to send troops to the Capitol. But I think that the most disturbing part of what you had just played in Congresswoman Lofgren's piece is that the Secret Service apparently deleted texts after the OIG requested those texts, and that the Secret Service has to be subpoenaed in this particular instance, as opposed to just voluntarily producing them. That shows that there's something going on with the Secret Service and within the DHS, and they have some explaining to do as well. These text messages can no longer remain a secret from January 5th and 6th.
Congressman, we've got about 30 seconds left. If this turns out not to be the committee's last hearing this week, what else would you like them to examine for the future? I'm not sure. I think that each time that we see one of these hearings, we learn more information, and quite frankly, more information is then forthcoming and more witnesses come forward with additional information because they feel they have to either correct the record or add to the record. And so I think this particular hearing, like the previous ones, may end up generating more leads and, leading to more information that reveals what happened on January 6th. Congressman Krishnamurthy, thank you so much for being with us.